At the beginning of a marriage, one doesn't realize what 50 years together will mean to them. How will this union affect the lives of others? What changes will this marriage bring? The marriage of Calvin Oscar Carlson and Helen Phyllis Hancock answer those questions in a joyous way. Calvin was born in Pleasant Grove and was raised primarily by his mother due to the early passing of his father. He had one sister, Irene, who was 3 years his senior. From an early age, Cal loved to hunt and fish and spend much of his time outdoors. Helen grew up on a fruit farm in Orem. She had 3 brothers, Bill, Charles, and Elvin, and a younger sister, Joy. All helped out with the farm where they raised cherries and apples.
I met Cal in 1948. We had same class at BYU Academy, and as he was coming down the hall, I looked at him and thought, he looked so clean, and I knew then that's the kind of guy I'd like to marry.
Well, I remembered I thought she was a beautiful young lady I'd like to know. My automobile at the time was a 41 Ford Coupe. It would do 85 miles an hour in second gear, and Helen and I used to race in second gear once in a while with the Buick.
We had our wedding at a culture hall. In the wedding line was Joy and Elaine and Beverly and Laura. That was my girlfriends. And for Cal, his best man was my brother Bill. And it was a very special, beautiful, I can still remember it.
I've worked for my father-in-law the first year that we were married, part of the year. I think his ditches on the farm were cleaner when I worked there than any other time. And he taught me how to irrigate and do a good job with it. And I quite enjoyed the farm. It was hard work, but it was good for me. Later into the summer, we knew we were going to need a better income in the winter time. So Helen's mother was in the Relief Society board with a Merrill person, and he was the one that hired and fired the people at Geneva. One day I went down and approached him for a job, and he gave me a job at Geneva. And I worked for 34 years in Geneva before I retired from there.
We decided to buy our farm 8 years after we were married. At first, me and Joy and Reed would go all around, and Cal go around and look at farms that we thought we'd like. We found one here, and Salem looked like a beautiful little place to have a farm. So we really looked close here and found 18 acres.
We planted 100 apple trees, 250 sweet cherry trees, and about that many peaches. And then we also put the balance of it into sour cherries.
Well, some people are proud of their family, but I've got 4 girls that I'm really proud of. They show me so much love and understanding and always here to help me, but that's the kind of girls they are. They're there to help me, and I hope I can help them back. It's a blessing. It's been really a blessing to have the children so close to us, our grandchildren, and they could walk to our place, and that's what was wonderful about it. We have a huge tree out in back, and it was always special for me because the kids, the grandchildren, sure loved it, and I loved to have them around the home and hear their laughter and the love they show to me and to each other. I think it makes the family stronger.
Over the years, I loved to especially hunt deer, and most all of my son-in-laws have wanted to hunt deer and had a tradition of our deer hunting camps with the Olsons of always having a real nice Dutch oven dinner the night before the deer hunt. Richard was a master at preparing these Dutch oven dinners, so we got the ingredients for him, and he and Lawrence would put it together, and we really certainly enjoyed it. His mother and dad and mom and I used to go up a couple of days before, and we would gather enough wood to last us through the deer hunt season, and certainly miss both of them. They're both gone now, but it was a great part of our life while they were alive. I love to fish Strawberry Reservoir, and my friends that I used to fish a lot with are Andy Taylor and Richard Blood. And then we decided, since we weren't smart enough to catch those Mackinaws out of flaming guards, we'd hire us a guide to learn how. Helen naturally caught one that weighed 22 pounds, and I got one that weighed 14.
When we started our farm, we got around 4,000 or 5,000 trees. It was a lot of work, and our daughters came right in and helped us. Couldn't have been any better than if it was boys. They came and picked up rocks, and they hoed, and they helped put sprinkling system in, and this is how the farm was run, is with our daughters and Cal. We started out little ones is that shaker would go by, it'd always leave the cherries on the bottom of the tree. So we'd tell our grandchildren that for $1 a bucket, and they'd come and pick the cherries off the ground, and then we'd pay them, and they'd follow the shaker as it went down the road. We've always enjoyed having horses, and the girls, Kim and Susie, belonged to the 4-H, and we went to the state fair, we went to horse shows all in Utah County, and they were pretty professional. One of the things I really like to do is travel, and we've pretty well been all over the world but South America, and I've got that in mind. But we've been to Australia and New Zealand and Japan and China and Hong Kong and Russia, and I think one I really liked was China. I guess it was so different, and it reminded me of Orem and Provo, Utah County, maybe 50 years ago. I started to run when I was about 15 years ago. I jumped off of the porch and broke my ankle, and then they brought me a little trampoline in, and so when I got well enough, I'd use the trampoline, and I told them, well, this is too boring. So they said, well, go out on the canal, and I've been running ever since. If I knew right what I knew now, I wouldn't have believed it. I wouldn't have believed that we'd accomplished so much and had such a beautiful family and everything that's around us. I have everything a woman wants, a true and good husband that loves me and he jumps back when I get mad. But he always tries to please me. It's been a wonderful 50 years, but I couldn't imagine it if somebody had told me, wow, what we'd have around us at this time. It was a great blessing.